In this video, I'm going to talk about how to increase your page speed, specifically your Shopify store speed. So if you have a Shopify store, I'm going to talk about how to increase your page speed, why it matters, why it doesn't matter, and what you can do to increase your page speed today. So let's get into it. Why this matters. Your website speed has a big impact on your experience for your visitors. If people are coming to your site and things are slow, especially if you have a lot of traffic and if you're driving visitors to your site through paid ads, some of those people are going to drop off, especially if the website is slow. Having a faster website will ensure you have a higher conversion rate and less people are dropping off. And there's been tons of studies on this specific thing in the past. I think there's been like a few, like even Amazon's like every second or every millisecond in load times, like $1 billion in sales or something. Let me share my screen too so you guys can see my horrendous Googling skills here. Oh, here we go. Every 100 milliseconds in added page load costs 1% in revenue. So if you're Amazon, it matters. And if you're not Amazon, it probably still matters, but not to that level of $3.8 billion. And if we want to talk about why it doesn't matter, first of all, if you are on Shopify, then your website is most likely pretty optimized. It's probably pretty fast already. And I know this happens a lot where people or merchants or store owners get really obsessed about like their website speed, and I've encountered this many times too. They'll like message us, or I've seen it with other developers or other agencies, and it's like a thing a lot of people obsess over, like your page speed. And I'm here to tell you that it's probably not that bad. If you aren't having customers complain about it, if you aren't noticing like sudden drop-offs in traffic or performance, and you're not at $100 billion level of sales like Amazon, then it might not be something you need to obsess over. And I can show you some examples. I'll bring up some websites. Let me go into Page Speed Insights. So this is a tool from Google, and you can enter in a website and it'll spit out all your metrics and your page speed, etc., etc. So let me just open up a few tabs here, and we can go in and test big brands and see what their websites are. All right, our reports are done. So I'm gonna review all this really quickly and just give you guys a summary of how these really big brands, $1 billion, $1 million brands, how fast their websites are, and why it might not matter that much for you. So IKEA.com, huge. They do get a passing rate. They're at a 65. And largest contentful paint, 1.3 seconds. Okay, they passed. That's good. Fashion Nova, another really big brand. They are a 27 for performance. We're looking at kind of slow. Best Buy, a 34. Also a fail. Temu, we all love Temu. And they are at 41, also a fail. Canada Goose, shout out Canada, shout out Gooses. Canada Goose is at 37, also a fail. Gymshark is huge. They're like the biggest brand on Shopify, I think. At least they're up there. 28, also a fail. Nike.com, 27, also a fail. And just for reference, I put in the paper Shopify themed demo store and it spit out 71. So I mean, that's pretty cool. Just another thing to note about all these numbers and kind of what they mean. For a lot of people, they don't mean a lot because it's kind of confusing. The other thing, like let's look at Fashion Nova here, for example. Like 6.3 seconds, 9.3 seconds speed index. Okay, well, let me just open another tab, type in Fashion Nova, nova.com, click enter. That loaded so fast, I almost loaded instantly. That's the other thing to really think about. These performance numbers are rarely a direct correlation between the actual performance, what users experience, and what these reporting tools spit out. Obviously, if you're trying to improve your page speed and you're looking at doing that type of work, this is a great tool to use, and like it can uncover some things for you as a developer. But often just loading the website and testing it for yourself, does it load fast, does it not? That's kind of the best way to do it, because I'm clicking around on Fashion Nova. That's very fast. So I don't know what's up with page speed insights. Maybe they need to do something. Okay, so we get it. I'm gonna move on. Okay, so let's say you actually do want to improve your page speed. Let's say you have 27 and you're on Shopify and you're like, how do I get this faster? The first thing, and probably the most important thing, is looking at your apps. So apps are like the biggest culprit of page speed issues. Especially if you've been using Shopify for a while, you're gonna end up installing a lot of apps. Maybe you installed something a year ago, a few months ago, used it for a bit. Maybe you ran like a Christmas promotion and then you uninstalled the app, or you still left it installed but you're not using it anymore. That is the biggest issue with theme performance or website performance on Shopify. I would recommend going into your Shopify settings, clicking apps and sales channel, and looking at every single app you have installed and asking yourself, do we still use this? Is it beneficial for our business? Is it like driving revenue? If not, why the hell do we have it installed? This is like an exercise I would do maybe every few months. Just go through this list and look at the apps and uninstall the ones you don't need. So that's number one. Number two, similar to apps, is external scripts and tracking code. Very similar to apps. If you have a website, and let me find one as an example. Wow, this Fashion Nova site is crazy. Okay, let me go to another site. I will go to Made in Cookware. And if you're thinking of buying me something, this is what you get me. I love Made in Cookware. Let's just go open up the developer tools, go to network performance. I don't really know what I'm looking for here, but I want to show you guys how many tracking scripts are on your average website. Now bear with me. Let's go back to Gymshark. We know they're on Shopify. Scroll down here. This is actually probably the most useful part of this report, is actually where it spits out, shows you like which files are causing issues and what you can do about them. So here we go, reduce JavaScript execution time. And I'm talking about external scripts and tracking codes. So Gymshark, big culprit for them is the Google Tag Manager. If you're unfamiliar with Google Tag Manager, it's basically how you can install like Facebook tracking codes or Snapchat tracking codes or any other host of like advertising or analytics codes. I understand that is necessary if you're running ads, but a lot of people may have like tracking codes installed from different platforms that they're not using anymore. So it's a good idea to look through that and maybe see, oh, I have this random network tracking code installed and I am not using that anymore. Uninstall it. Gymshark's got Tag Manager, Intercom, TikTok, Facebook, the list goes on. So I would definitely review your tracking codes. That's probably another big one on top of the apps. The third way to improve your website is just to simplify it. It's pretty damn simple. Here, I'll do an example. So we tested our demo store earlier, Paper Theme Demo 2, and it's got a 71. Let's just see what happens if I add 50 more sections with images and photos and see what happens. Look at all that junk. Just based on that, I added like 20 more sections. Each section had an extra 3 images in it. So let's see what, if anything happens there. There we go, 40. So we just went from a 71 to a 40 simply by adding, I can't count, but if you're smart, you can count several rows of images. Yeah, if you want to improve page speed and you already looked at apps and you already looked at your external scripts, just simplify your page. You don't need 100 videos on one page. So that is a tip. Just keep it simple and reduce your content, optimize your images, all that standard stuff. The other thing, theme code. So if you're a Shopify merchant and you've hired a developer to work on your theme before, that might be something that could be causing issues with your performance as well, especially if you hired different developers throughout the existence of your website. That could just be an issue where one developer may changes one way and then you hired another developer and they're unfamiliar with the work of the first developer and they just did their own thing, and now you have these 2 separate things when it could have just been one thing. That's a big one. If you are working with a developer, that can sometimes slow down your website if you're making a lot of little changes and working with many different developers. Something to note, especially if you do get into that, keep it in mind. and yeah, worth mentioning. All right, so I think that's it. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out any of our Shopify themes, I showed you Paper. It's a super fast Shopify theme, so if you want to check that out, it's in the Shopify theme store. We have 2 other themes as well, Keystone, and let me bring them up right now. Keystone and Space. Okay, so Keystone, it's your theme built for B2B and wholesaling, so bulk ordering, all that kind of stuff. Space, super minimal, super sleek, and then Paper, kind of the all-around powerhouse theme. So if you want to check out a fast theme, or if your theme is really slowing down and you've got an old theme from 5 years ago, it might be time to upgrade. So check those out. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna go. Enjoy the rest of your day.